Hello, welcome to the Let's Talk Kids Health Live Show, episode 72. I'm Dr. Nerissa Bauer, your host. I'm a behavioral pediatrician and CEO of Let's Talk Kids Health. As you know, the concept of the show is to share information about behavioral health, parenting, and family wellness. Each week, I bring you topics and guests to help me advance this mission so that we can all talk together. Now, let us know that you're here by commenting, asking questions, and liking. As you know, this episode was pre-recorded, but if you have any questions or comments, please post them as you watch, and I will be coming back and answering any questions. The replay will live on and will be immediately available after the broadcast. So please share this episode with anyone you think who would benefit. And if you don't want to miss any future episodes or maybe check out some of the past ones, subscribe to my YouTube channel, NerissaBauerMD, follow my blog Facebook page, Let's Talk Kids Health, and join my free parenting discussion group. Now, today's topic is all about kids' eye health with Dr. Carola Okogbaa. Dr. Carola Okogbaa is a board-certified ophthalmologist serving in Baton Rouge, Louisiana since 2013. She is also the CEO and founder of Louisiana Center For Eyes. Dr. Okogbaa specializes in the medical and surgical treatment of eye diseases. She helps individuals achieve their best vision and maintain a healthy eyesight. She lives with her husband and 3 children in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Thanks for coming to the show.
Thank you so much, Dr. Bauer, for having me today. This is such an important topic, and I really appreciate that.
Oh, yes. And this is the first time I'm having an ophthalmologist on my show, so I'm so excited.
Oh, awesome. I didn't know that. That's really good.
Yeah, so this is awesome because I have some questions for you. And, we're going to start off with, why is Healthy Vision Month important for kids?
Yeah, this month, the month of May, is actually Healthy Vision Month, okay, awareness. And it was actually established by the National Eye Institute in 2003. And the whole premise was to really promote eye health, okay, and not just for adults, but also for kids. Healthy vision is important. And so with kids, we know that the eyes are developing and vision is changing as they grow. And we want them to maintain a healthy, optimal vision in all of these stages. In addition, it helps us to be able to catch anything that may be a problem while the eye is developing, so we can catch it early and treat it. So kids, that's very important for kids as well, eye health.
Yeah, and I'm so glad that you're coming on the show because, as you know, as a behavioral pediatrician, I take care of a lot of kids with attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, learning problems, anxiety, depression. But oftentimes, parents and teachers can only see the behavior at hand. And so part of the workup is making sure that there's nothing else going on. Checking eye vision and vision is really important. It could impact how a child is functioning at school.
Yeah, absolutely. And a lot of time I see those kids as well, where they're coming in to see me and just to make sure that, hey, the eyes are fine, that there's no issues going on with the eyes that may be contributing to their learning issues or behavioral issues. So vision is connected really to their environment, to their world, to their growth, to their learning. And so eye health is extremely important. And then we can go into, when to really keep an eye on that and start that journey.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about that. I think, for families watching this, when should kids start getting vision exams?
Yeah. So let's start with just eye screenings in general. From birth, we're checking to make sure that kids' eyes are good, right? So the pediatrician, everyone's involved in making sure the eyes are aligned, the red reflexes, they're equal, and the behavior of the child. We're looking at blink reflexes, pupil reflexes. So anything that's off of what we should normally see is an indication that, hey, let's get the ophthalmologist involved to make sure that the eyes are doing fine. And then as they go through their well-visit exams or well-visit checkups with their pediatrician, if anything, again, is off, then they're send them to me for a comprehensive eye exam. And then even at school, preschool, pre-K, daycare. So I feel like in the last maybe 15 years, that's really been more a topic, more of an issue. The importance of eye health has really been in the forefront. So I'm getting a lot of that now that, that parents, teachers and so on, they're sending the kids if they fail the eye screening, at school, then I'll see them for an eye exam. And then we recommend that from age 3 to 5, every child really should get a comprehensive eye exam. And so that's where we, the ophthalmologists, look at the alignment of the eyes. We look to see if they need glasses. Is there a refractive error going on? Myopia, hyperopia? Is there astigmatism going on? And then after that, because the vision also changes as the body grows, as they grow. And so every 1 to 2 years, really, they should be getting an eye exam to kind of, especially if they start wearing glasses, to make sure that, hey, the prescription is still good. They're still seeing how they should.
It's interesting that you say that, and I think a lot of parents might not necessarily know this, but like my kids both now wear contacts. They're older, but I noticed too that when they go through that growth spurt, it's a
Yes.
huge time for again checking. Can you
Mhm.
explain that a little bit?
Yeah. So when they go through that growth spurt, there's a huge shift that happened in the vision and the growth. Not only, their shoes don't fit anymore, their clothes don't fit anymore. Well, they also get a huge shift in their vision. So sometime when they come and their prescription totally changed. Now they cannot see at all out of whatever prescription they had a year or two ago. It's because they had that shift. So not only has the eyeball itself grown, and that changes the refraction of the eyes, all of these factors play into it. So the eyes with kids are constantly developing. So yeah, that's a major time when we see a huge shift in vision.
Yeah,
Mhm.
thank you for pointing that out. I mean, I sort of didn't put two and two together either, with that growth spurt. But when
Mhm.
the eye doctor said something, I was like, that does make sense because
Yeah.
the eye is actually growing. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
Yes.
and and I guess like, what are some of the common signs of vision problems? So, like, what are some of the clues for parents to
Mhm.
know? Hey, in case we haven't been there for a while, or what are some new and concerning signs to look for?
Yeah. So just the common ones that would bring, that parents themselves could see is, one, if they have a misalignment or crossing of the eyes, right?
Mhm.
That will prompt them to go see the eye doctor. But there's certain things where just making sure that they get their screenings, to make sure that both eyes are actually contributing equally to vision. We call that amblyopia. We want to make sure that there's not one eye that's lazy and so on. But I also wanted to talk about just some subtle signs, okay, that you think the child is fine. In general, they seem to be good, but there may be some signs that may indicate, okay, let's get your vision checked. So one of those is, one, if they start having like a short attention span. Okay, so they anything lengthy, they're kind of like not interested. So sometimes it could be, well, they may have a refractive error, or something going on with the vision, where maybe they didn't need glasses, but now the vision at the stage where they need some type of glasses to help optimize the vision. Or number two, if they are doing, and typically it's when they're doing close-up activities, you can see a lot of these, because the vision is not having to really have to focus. So if there's an issue, that's when it's going to show up. And
Mm.
so while they're reading and they're losing track of where they are, they probably can't really see it. Maybe they have something called astigmatism, those type of things. Or if they're completely avoiding, any kind of near projects, any close-up projects, anything like that, again, before they were fine, now they're like, showing you those signs. That could be a sign to say, okay, maybe we can talk to a pediatrician. If not, then let's go see the eye doctor.
Mhm.
And the other thing to also look at is, some kids can turn their heads or give me all these weird, like, why is he looking this way now? Head turning can
Mm.
be an indication of something going on with the vision, some type, again, of refractive error. Maybe they're more nearsighted, maybe. And when they turn a certain ways, because they can focus better at that position, and that's why they're going to prefer that. And so, but it could be a sign of, astigmatism. It could be a sign of some type of other refractive error that needs to be corrected to maximize their vision. So some of these signs they can be subtle sometimes. You're like, oh, why they don't want to pay attention, but it could be just they really can't see.
Okay. And other signs, like maybe like strain, like that
Yeah,
as
they're
well?
squinting, and
Uh-huh.
it's like they can't find their focal point.
Mhm.
Now, one common one that it's good that it brings the parents, it brings it helps the parents to bring them to the office, like if they're really sitting very close to TV, or everything is like here, like just an inch away from their face. That's also a sign, just to make sure that you're good. Let's go see the eye doctor. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, those are great tips. Can you briefly just describe, because I heard you say the word, and I'm just asking for other families who might not know what that word means, but astigmatism, what does that mean
Mhm.
when you
Yeah.
say that?
So astigmatism. So there's different. We call them refractive errors. Basically, how your eyes were born. How, when you're looking at an image, how it focuses to the back of the eye. And so when you have 20/20 vision, good vision, that means when I'm looking at something, it focuses right on the retina. If it falls in front of the retina, then it's called hyperopia. They're more. They see good far off, but not good close up. If they're myopia, means the image falls, it passes the retina, and so that's myopia, and that means they see better close up. Now, astigmatism means the image is just not right, either far or near, and so it just doesn't, the image doesn't come to what we call a clear point, and that's what we call astigmatism. So it's actually different. So you can have myopia plus it's astigmatism, or hyperopia plus astigmatism, or some people just have straight up astigmatism. And when you have that type of refractive error, not only it the focus is off both at close up as well as far away, so they're going to have issues with focusing close up. And sometimes that can impact their writing when they're young.
Mhm.
Everything start kind of leaning a lot,
Mm.
and as well as their distance vision.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really appreciate you tying it back to tangible behavior that parents can be monitoring. So shorter
Mhm.
attention spans, handwriting, kind of,
Mhm.
the need to bring things closer to your face,
Yes.
squinting, those kinds of things. Those are real, I think, concrete tips for parents to
Yeah.
to be looking for. I mean,
Absolutely.
how common is family history for this type of thing?
Um, I would say for certain things, typically common. Usually, if they have a lot of astigmatism, mom and dad.
Hmm.
Usually, if you wear glasses, your mom and dad probably wore glasses. If you're
Yep.
really nearsighted, typically mom or dad or somebody's nearsighted. But sometimes there's no relation. You can have one child of 5 who wears glasses.
Yeah.
You know? But yeah, it can be. But typically, if most of the family members wear glasses, chances are you're gonna wear glasses too.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, so this brings me to my next question. I think this is going to be like burning on people's minds because, again, as a behavioral pediatrician, I see a lot of kids with like autism, ADHD, and obviously with the pandemic and the need for remote learning, screen time. Can
Mhm.
we talk about this? Because what are some impacts of screens and digital devices on kids' eyes? I mean, what are your thoughts on this from
Yeah.
your perspective?
Yeah, that has become a major issue for us, right? With the eyes, because in our society today, not only are adults on their phones and computers, but kids are having to use these devices quite a bit, for learning, for play, for entertainment. And so there's been studies that are going on and that are still ongoing. And the jury, in many ways, is still out on the long term impacts. But there are some things that they're noticing, that the amount of screen time is really having an impact on obesity, um, eye development, sleep quality in kids. And so some of the things for the eyes that they're noticing is, one, the progression of what we call myopia, right? Meaning that more kids are becoming more myopic. And that's because we're spending so much time focused near that the eyes tend to like that, or it becomes more myopic. And I, as an ophthalmologist, I've been noticing, even just from the pandemic, a huge shift. Okay. And kids are like, oh, wow, your prescription really changed over 2 years. Maybe it was changing maybe by a quarter. Now it's like by 3/4.
Wow.
Yeah. So I am seeing it literally. And so there's some research going on with all of that. The other thing that we're noticing is just digital eye strain, right? Because the kids are not blinking as much. When we don't blink, we don't make enough tears. Over time, we start seeing things like even dry eyes, things that you would see in adults. We're seeing it in kids, right? Because we start losing these glands because we're not blinking enough. And so they start to go away. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. And so there's definitely an issue with that. The other thing we're noticing is just poor sleep quality, and especially when they're having a lot of screen time before bedtime. And so, the American Academy of Ophthalmology, they have not really come up with like how much time. It's not quite solidify, like this is how much screen time you should have. However, the American Academy of Pediatrics, they've came out with some recommendations. And so they've recommended if 24 months or less should not have any screen time, unless, you're video chatting with family, but really they don't recommend it. And then for kids, preschoolers and so on, they're recommending maybe an hour a day. Okay. An hour a day. And they're recommending high quality type of programming. If you are going to be sitting in front of the screen for a good hour, that type of thing. Because they found out I think it was this Canadian research that found that screen time, preschoolers who had more than 2 hours of screen time a day had an 8-fold increase in developing ADHD. So that's an issue. Okay.
Yeah. Yep.
And so there's more research going on to see how much, staying in front of the screen, having a phone or a tablet in front of you is impacting kids. And then there's other research about, social interactions, obesity, because now they're not spending as much time outside. They're spending more time in front of the screen. So that's impacting that as well. And then obviously, if you're on the screen, you're not having good sleep, that impacts not only your eyes, because you have eye fatigue, right? It can, it can impact your learning and education and all of that. And so those are some of the impacts of digital use in kids. And so I think a lot of it is just awareness.
Yep.
Okay? There's no hard cutoff as to how much to do, but for parents to just be mindful, especially how much. So the recommendation for sleep time is really no screen time, at least an hour before bedtime.
Yes. And I have lots of discussions about this with my families that I see. And, thank you for mentioning the relation with increased use of screens and attention span issues and all of that too. Behavioral issues is a huge one too. And then the blue light. Do you have anything to say about blue light glasses? Because people ask about that. Does that work?
Well, yeah. So again, I like studies. I like okay, what are they saying? So there's no scientific evidence, right, that the actual blue light itself damages the eye. What blue light does, it decreases melatonin in the body. So it's not really the blue light that's impacting the vision. So there hasn't been any correlation between blue light and damage to vision. It's really the sleep quality that the blue light is impacting and not directly the eyes. So, people ask me about the blue light all the time. It's really what you do. It's really more the digital strain from all the use, eye fatigue, all of that, not blinking, all these symptoms you start having from too much screening, not necessarily the blue light that's coming from that. That
Yeah.
part is messing with your sleep, your
Yeah.
circadian rhythm.
Yeah, and you'll appreciate this. We had our mutual friend, Dr. Funke Brown, on, and we
Mm,
talked about blue light, sleep, and the need
mhm.
to like protect that sleep.
Yeah.
Um, so it's really important. I think you left us with some really good tips. You talked about, why, again, reminding us that May is Healthy Vision Month for kids.
Mhm.
You talked about, how important it is to get routine vision exams, starting with a
Yes.
pediatrician, but then, kind of seeing you
Mhm.
should there be the need for a much more comprehensive exam. And then you talked about quick things to be looking for signs of vision problems in kids, especially, again, like we recapped before, with the concrete ways it's affecting their learning at
Yes.
school, and
Mhm.
then the impacts of screens. And I think as a parent myself, and for those watching, this is another reason why, like, just monitoring that screen time, maybe like I oftentimes tell parents to use like visual timers like this,
Yes.
break up that screen time, because again,
Yes.
getting them up, moving them outside, giving them a chance to sort of replace that screen time where they're just sitting, with actual face-to-face time, getting outside, being active, but then also helping them, not have
Yeah.
so much strain on their eye,
Yes.
blinking,
Yes.
you know.
Mhm. Yeah.
um,
Yeah. As a matter of fact, we have the American Academy of Ophthalmology came up with this rule, and so I've been telling everyone about this rule, especially kids. We call it the 20-20-20 rule, just because it's so easy to remember, right? You talk about 2020. So the rule is that for every 20 minutes you're at a screen, okay, you should stop, look at an object 20 feet away, meaning that you going from your near focus to your far focus,
mhm,
okay? And you want to do that, and then you want to blink for 20 seconds. And what that
mhm,
does is it just reduces eye fatigue, because the other thing that happened is, remember, we're keeping our eyes in this one state for a prolonged period of time. The eyes were not meant to just stay like this for that
mhm.
long. So it's like holding up your arm for 2 hours. And so
Yes.
by breaking that up, giving the eye a chance to reset, and then blinking while you're doing that, it just helps to maintain the eyes and then reduce a lot of that digital eye screen. So every 20 minutes, look far away at 20 feet and blink for 20 seconds to reset your eyes.
Yes, yes, so good. So again, those of you who have visual timers, set them for 20 minutes,
Yes, yes, yes.
so that's great. I love that. So
Mhm.
yeah. Any other resources or any other thoughts? Where can people find you if they're local in Louisiana?
Yeah, yeah. If anyone's in Louisiana, I'm in Baton Rouge. You could check out my website for our office, www.lacenterforeyes.com. You can also follow me on social media, on Facebook at LA Center for Eyes, also on Instagram at LA Center for Eyes as well. And so we try to put out a lot of information on different topics about eye health, and so that would be a wonderful place to go.
Okay.
Or
And is
call
that
us if you want to make an appointment as well.
Yes, please call her. So is that right there? lacenterforeyes.com?
Yep,
Okay,
yep,
there
it
you
sure
go.
is. Yes,
Okay.
absolutely.
And then the same handle for social media. So please
Mhm.
go look her up, follow her account. She's got lots of great tips, as you heard. So please do check out her website and follow her too. All right. Well, thanks so much for this informative conversation. I have had such a great time talking with you, and I'm so glad that I finally got an ophthalmologist on the show.
Yes, yes. This was really, really, really great. I am so grateful you had me on your show, and I hope everyone found a nugget or two to implement on their eye regimen and daily routines.
Yeah, you know what? The 2020 thing, I'm not going to forget that. So,
Yes,
yeah. All right. Well, thanks
definitely.
again. And I do want to remind you guys, so next week, our special guest is another friend of ours, a mutual friend, Dr. Janika Benoit, who'll be talking with me about family fitness. So make sure you tune in for that. That's going to be a great episode. And then also just make sure that, again, if you want to just follow and subscribe to my channel, that way you don't have to miss out on any other episodes. So again, thank you all for tuning in today. Remember, this was pre-recorded, but if you have any ongoing questions, concerns about eye issues, I will try my hand at it, but if I can't, I'll just reach out to Dr. Okogbaa and she will respond and let us know what the answer is. So don't be shy, post in that chat, and we'll see you again next week. Again, thanks for having on the show.
Thank you.